Now you're going to come up in 2008. Where were we in 2008? Denver. I remember now. Okay, 2008. All this is culminating into building up for what they have been screaming about all these years. And I kept getting people, oh, you're just a Rothbardian, assuming I knew what that meant. Okay, so I go and look at it, I go, yeah, cool, yeah, I go with that one, you know. So what they do is they do all this. We got to get elected. We need to take matching funds. We got to compromise. We got to affiliate with things that'll play ball. You know, you are part. And round in here is when all this started. You know, the branding thing, and you are, you know, it's top down. Washington decides. We are it. The party, state parties don't mean squat. You belong to us. They don't even think that they're a product of the state parties. You know, it doesn't even occur to them. You know, this is how Washington think is. We rule you. Okay? So I'm going, really? Well, what happens is now we're getting to 2008, and this was the platform, you know, debacle. Okay? And here's Bob Barr. All right? So they're building up. This entire time is to get to where they always wanted to be. We got a congressman, a Republican, conservative, we got the name recognition, all will be well. This Wayne Allen Root thing didn't help either. But, you know, the thing is that they come in with this, man, this is it. This is what they wanted. So what am I thinking? I'm thinking, okay, if you get what you want, we're going to find out what happens. Mary Ruart, you know, sticks her head up, right on. I'm glad somebody is there. It takes 6 ballots for Barr to get elected, okay? A lot of people don't know that one. You talk out in the public, you're going, yeah, after 6 ballots, Barr got it. So the thing is that I'm going, okay, cool. You know, we have some hardcore in there. That's when, you know, Lee gets on, you know, the stage. He's, you know, gets elected. Angela gets reelected. We're going back in. And when Angela got elected in 06 in Oregon, you know, I'm going, you know, I'm going, don't let them distract you with all this little piddly crap, which is what they want to do. And the deal that I made with them to be nice, I said, you know, I can be cordial, I can be nice. I don't have to be slapping you guys around. I can just do the inspirational kind of, you know, and we should, and this is the direction and why and that kind of stuff. I can do that, you know. But I tell you, I have one thing for playing nice. I want to see the books. I want to see the finances. I go, you guys don't, man, that's the deal. Jeff Neal becomes treasurer, and he goes, okay, I will. I keep hammering on Angela. I haven't got him yet. I haven't got it. What you want to understand? I ran a restaurant. I can read a P&L. Send me the freaking stuff. They wouldn't send selected accounts, though. You know, all the individual checks and categories and so on, because, you know, we know why. But the thing is, they send this to me, and I'm going, holy crap, I can't believe how much money you guys waste. And I'm looking at it, and finally, that was when Jeff Neal resigned as treasurer. And they're afraid. They knew that I, you know, might do something, you know, which I wasn't. I care. And I just wanted to know what was going on. So he's like, yeah, I don't think I can sign this thing and kind of file it with the government and stuff. You get in trouble for stuff like that, you know. So he doesn't want to play anymore. So then I go, all right, 2008 happens. We go there, and I just wanted to make sure that we, you know, had the no compromise contingent there and such. They bring in there, and then you have Christine Smith, you know, that, you know, goes out and she gets her parting shot. You bunch of, you know, and she lays into them. And some of them are like going, nah, maybe she shouldn't have done that. I'm going, yeah, well, we're going to be glad she did a year from now. I can guarantee you that. So we're sitting there, you know, having fun with this. Now, what had happened from early 2007 to the convention in 2008? The Ron Paul Revolution. A lot of you probably know that I'm the one that came up with that logo. What happened was, I had that logo for my Secretary of State run in 2006. And my sign was very interesting. It's a big black sign with white lettering. Still voting, with a red V for Vendetta. And it's black. It has a little bitty thing. Ernest Hancock, Secretary of State, endorsed by freedomsphoenix.com. So everybody's going, what the heck is this? They do the stories in the media and everything. We found out freedomsphoenix.com is his side. I'm going, they spelled it right, right? They're going, Ernest, and it's black evil sign and this and that and so on. It was voted most popular political sign in that election year. So the thing was is that I haven't voted since 2002. Oh, you didn't know that, did you? This is why. In 1994, I ran for Secretary of State. Now keep in mind, this is when I'm doing all election law and all this stuff. I was running against Speaker of the House and President of the Senate. They wanted to be Secretary of State really bad. Why? They had just passed a law that made it illegal for you to ever compare the paper with what the computer said. They go like, Mr. Hancock, do you really think there's election fraud? And they do it like this. You're at some debate, and they just have the reporters come up and they take the microphone and they do this. They go, do you really think there's election fraud? Yada, 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 yada. And I go, I got proof. Well, all the cameras zoom in on you. The reporters come up and they go, what's the crazy libertarian going to say? They passed legislation making it illegal for you to ever find it. How much proof do you need? Nice weather we're having today. Let's go over here, talk about something else. I mean, they're part of the machine. So during this time, it gets up to the point, it's 2002, and you have like a to-do list, and it's no more voting. So what happened is you have a checkoff list that you do your to-do list. Today I got to get milk, I got to go to this, I got to pick up I got to vote. So I go down. Usually you feel good when you check off a checkoff. So yeah, I finished, I accomplished something. I go in, I vote, I come out, and I'm kind of thinking, ew. I knew better. I am encouraging this process. Think about this. Mark Victor is my partner on Freedom Summit that we do. He's an attorney, a criminal defense attorney. There's a lot of things that we're doing. But what happened was, he always made this argument. We'd go to dinner, and we'd sit there, and we had two people one time, we're sitting at a table, and it's, he and I, here's Mark, and here's me. And the discussion was, well, if you don't vote, you don't have a right to complain. So this is Mark. He goes, really? He goes, we vote to take your whatever it was, their soup or something. We're going to vote, and how do you vote? Well, I vote no, and you vote yes, we're going to take it. We take it, life sucks. Now, the thing is that you get the right to campaign against. You use your First Amendment right to campaign. Please don't take my soup. I just need one guy to get a deadlock here. I'm going to argue for property rights and do all this other stuff. But if you win, the person that had their land taken away from taxes, regulation, use of their property, whatever, they're going to say, "I won, yay!" Did they? Advocated for the process that would take it. If you lose, you would have been happy if you won. Well, if you lose and you complain, you're just a sore loser. What happens if you say, no, I'm not participating in your crap. I'm not playing. Well, we're going to take it anyway. I know. But I'm not going to help you. I'm not going to sanction a process by which you're going to take my rights, my property, my money, my soul. So I'm just going, no, I'm not playing anymore. But publicly, I'll use another reason, which is at least as valid, is that the process is rigged. I don't trust the computers. If they make it illegal, certainly in Arizona, to ever compare what the computer said with what the paper says, I already know it's crap. So later we got some laws changed, and they do that now a little bit, and then it's back and forth, and we didn't this time, and that's an Arizona thing. But the point is that I run, and they bring this up. You think I'm running for Secretary of State, not voting, with signs all over like this? And you think it doesn't come up once? They go, well, how can you do it if you don't even support the voting? I'm so glad you asked. I'd like to tell you. So I go on, every time I get to ask, they go, we don't want to talk about that anymore. Did I get what I wanted? Damn skippy I did. I got the public awareness and understanding of election fraud before it became popular. I've been doing this since '94. So all of a sudden now election fraud is like tippy top of the thing. In Arizona, libertarians are well known for being, you'll see national stuff we have, especially if you're on Freedom's Phoenix, all the stuff that we're doing on election fraud, all the stuff that comes out. The Attorney General just did a recount of an election in Tucson, and that got a whole bunch of Brad blog attention and this stuff. So we're hammering on them on this.